Scoggle here, making another video. Gonna work on the mid lane. We're gonna do Morgana. This is Blackthorn Morgana, I believe. Yeah, doing versus Vladimir, and it is, I think that is Marquis Vladimir. So Morgana in her toolkit has her bind and her pool. Her pool is how she pushes, and she has her bind, which can keep you in place up to 3 seconds. What Vladimir usually has to counter this lane is his ability to pool underneath. Once he gets caught by a Morgana binding, he can pool and not take much damage from Morgana's pool. And so that's the principle behind counter-picking Morgana by picking Vladimir. In this case, he's not going to win the lane, so it's kind of how to play properly when you get counter-picked by Vladimir. He also pushes really strong, and that is what Morgana does really well. And so Vladimir should be able to safely push back against Morgana, ideally. Morgana can shield a whole lot of damage that Vladimir throws out with her black shield. He does not have a lot of CC. He did force out the flash, and Morgana does not have mana, but isn't at the point where she wants to base right now. Has potions chugging away, a fairy charm to keep sustain, and stays out in the lane. Your proper play, you're going to go, usually almost every game, you're going to go 1 point into Q. Sometimes you go W first if you feel like you can safely push without a lot of CC onto Vladimir. You're probably okay. You just got to make sure you don't take a Elise stun blindly from a bush where they can jump on you and kill you really quick, especially with your flash down. So when you're thinking about your gameplay and what to do, you've just got to keep that in mind. And as you can see, with potions ticking back and with everything going, and that was a good dodge by Vladimir. It's just not enough for him to stay alive here. The Lee Sin gank was enough, and when Morgana Q'd, it made him cut back, and that made him take a lot of extra damage from Lee Sin, and so the auto attacks were enough. So by not basing and just potioning and using Morgana's passive and sustaining back through that, they were able to get enough damage that the gank was enough to get the kill. And Vladimir, after doing so much in a trade, was very confident and thought that he would be doing more damage and was in control of the lane. So Vladimir, while he does have the pool and everything to safely go against Morgana, took too much damage from Lee Sin, and while he has a good tool set to escape Morgana's abilities, sometimes your tool set, while countering your own lane, does not counter what the jungler brings to the table. And Lee Sin locks on a Q, you can pool, come back up, he can Q again onto you. And so Lee Sin's a fairly good jungler against someone like Vladimir, where he may counteract what Morgana does. He does not counteract what Lee Sin does. So 38 to 33, so not too much of a CS lead yet, but the 101 score compared to the 010 score, 1722 to almost 2300. So Morgana's getting a little bit ahead. The levels are the same. She's just going to come right out into the lane. Ultimate, he's going to be stunned with the pool. Misses the bind. If she would have landed that bind, because his pool was already used, that would have been a very, very high potential for another kill right there. I don't know if it would have done it or not, but it would have been pretty close. Depends on what his MR actually is, because that would have been fairly dangerous right there for Vladimir. And now at this point, he is going to have a hard time if he's going to try to farm with his E. An excellent land. You can see how that pool helps him absorb or avoid a whole lot of that W damage that Morgana can throw down. And she lands another binding, and he does not have his pool timer up, so he's extremely low now. And that is what happens when you land very many bindings in the laning phase onto Morgana. So once you start winning and pushing on Morgana, even against a strong pusher like Vlad, you gain quite a bit of advantage. And now Lee Sin's at the point where if he lands a Q on a low life Vladimir should back off, because at least in Q, he can kind of bait out your pool, and then a Morgana Q combo as safe as Vladimir is as a laner, he still has difficulty if they have two different forms of the combo that can get after you. But you can see he's just chugging away his potions, doing the same thing that Morgana was able to do. But that was the ability to push, land a few Qs. So even if you get counterpicked, the ability to patiently wait out and strategically put your Qs will get you in a lot of favorable push matchups. Here, you know they're going to go for your blue, so keep this warded and you'll be able to land some really cool stuff over the walls like they just did. The good timing on the ultimate is able to stun 2 people. And that double stun gets the 1 kill, sets up the 2nd kill. Those were the 2 people that Morgana stunned, and then lands a nice long-range stun onto Varus. And just by pushing the lane constantly, they're able to get a lot of work done early, get the mid tower down, which puts a lot of pressure on this game, and get a lot of pressure on Vladimir. And now at this point, Morgana's ahead by quite a bit, and she can just snowball from here. Morgana's one of those champions that once she's ahead, she'll just push and dominate. She's up 3,400 to 2,100. Vladimir has no chance to outpush her, so she can push and roam and make sure all her lanes win. Anyhow, hope you were able to learn what to do in this matchup. Take care.